As the medium most entrained to the heart center, it is television that first brought us face to face and heart to heart with the others on our small planet. Television ended a millennium of print-centeredness, replacing it in less than a decade with image-based communications, and with it, a new cultural outlook, and the series of social revolutions of the 60s, whose rallying cries were, "The whole world is watching." From Roots to Sesame Street, from See It Now to Star Trek, television has introduced us to the lives of those we held outside of the comfort zone, by class, gender, language, color, tribe, or nation, bringing us in close emotional contact with other beings that share our world. From Vietnam to Gaza to Baghdad, television has been a subversive force, calling forth connection and sympathy with the victims, not the occupiers. So why is it that this powerful force of empathy is so twisted, bringing us, as David Dark writes, to the brink of emotional connection, opening our hearts, and then, like a Trojan horse, hijacking our hopes with the emptiness of slogans, wasting our sympathies on tales that are devastatingly shallow and sentimental? I believe that television is only reflecting in a magnified way the pain of our ungrounded global heart chakra, overreacting to new objects of its desire, and shutting down when it feels rejected and overwhelmed. Ultimately, television reflects our emptiness and disguised global grief. Our compassion has been overwhelmed and replaced by self-pity. And as creation theologian Matthew Fox warns us, self-pity becomes one more search for an eternal fix. This codependent side of the heart chakra is fully projected in front of us every night. As television brought us right to the brink of real emotional connection with all those beings that share our small planet, and at the same time helped us run away from the shock of fully experiencing the consequences of true global social and economic and ecological interdependence. We use television to take us from, to cover up and dull the stirrings of planetary grief in our heart center. Like an ever-escalating but never successful attempt to mend a broken heart, television feeds us a false world of emotional voyeurism and dreams of material possession. The enticements of avarice, gluttony, and lust disguised as infomercials and the pretend intimacy of the tell-it-all talk show. A place where the self is defined by want, wish, and the capacity to consume. Reactions against this false community of compassionate consumption are reflected in many ways. In the glut of TV reality shows, in the angry swagger of young men rejecting this shadow world for the equally dark dreams of religious fundamentalism, and in those who marry the television screen to the gun in the pseudo-interaction of the violent video game. We see it in the humiliation of those bearing their hearts, and now their breasts, on national television, and in the hard-hearted, radio-like screaming of the hosts of the cable news networks. While we must indeed focus our efforts on healing television's assault on our consciousness, we also have a parallel opportunity to use television as an energy yoga practice. With our eyes open, we can look past the embarrassing excess of reality television, the advertisements promising us security through consumption, and the parade of escapist comedies, to really see the world of pain. Instead of dismissing the idiot box, we can use it as a tool, a mirror to show us the best of our humanity and take us down the pathway to rediscover our displaced grief. If we're sufficiently grounded in the lower chakras, if we know our power and we know our place on the planet, we can truly open our hearts to all the television puts before us. Holding our grief openly, we can use our TV viewing as a way to practice compassion without enmeshment.